Hi, it's Alison from Bag Lady Bird Learn to Sew. Welcome. Today I am really excited because I have created something just for you. It is a brand new printable. You can download it using the link that's in the description box below, and this is to help you to know your fabric. Okay, so I'll explain to you how to use it, and you can start creating your own library of fabrics to help with your fabric knowledge, because that's the one thing that people always tell me that they have issues with, even experienced sewists, really understanding fabrics and what works best for which projects. So creating a file, a library of fabric samples, is one way that you can help yourself to build your fabric knowledge. So the printable is a Know Your Fabrics printable, and you can use it to collate all the information about your fabrics and build your fabric knowledge, because it's often the thing that people tell me they struggle with the most is getting the right fabric for your project. So one way you can help yourself is to build a library of fabrics. So when you're fabric shopping, ask for samples, ask for information, and you can add this to your fabric. Or when you're shopping online, just order, every time you place an order, order a couple of samples at the same time, combine the postage, and you can add them to your little fabric, Know Your Fabrics folder, and gradually build your fabric knowledge. And your fabric, Know Your Fabrics library. I want to tell you about my brand new printable. Can you see it? Can you see it? So one of the things that my students tell me most regularly is that one of the hardest challenges they find as a new sewer is choosing the right fabric for their project. And this Know Your Fabrics handout printable is going to help you with that. There are 4 pages to the printable, and you have a different place to pin your fabric sample on each one. So it means that if you're putting all your stuff into a ring binder, into a folder, that your fabric will spread out and be even within your folder file. Okay, so we've got these here, and I've got some fabric, so I'm just going to show you. You got some pinking shears and some fabric you want to keep in your library. So this is linen, 100% linen from Fabrics for All. It was a colour called denim and was $13.99 a metre. So cut out a little fabric sample and I will pop that on there. Staple this in place. The pinking shears will stop it from fraying, and staple that in place. You can either staple it or you can use a pin and pin that in place. Staples better because they don't stab you like pins can. So fabric type, I'm going to put 100% linen. We're going to put the price, which was $13.99 a metre. 140 centimetres was the width. The length I purchased was 3 metres, but I've used some of it. I've only got 1 metre left. Was purchased from Fabrics for All. And you can pop some washing instructions in here. So not all fabric companies will give you washing instructions, but if they do, they're useful to write them here, so you've got that to refer to. I'm just going to put here, I have pre-washed at 30 degrees. So that I know when I come to wash it again, if I wash it the same, it will cope with that fine. So the other information that I know about this is that it is 230 grams per metre. Okay, and that's useful, that's the weight of the fabric. I can also add some additional information. So other things I can add are the Gutterman thread colour. that I used, so that was colour 435. I could also write in my notes what I've made out of it. So made Stylark bob pants. And you can put any other information you might have on there.
So you might be wondering what to put on the notes section of your Know Your Fabrics printable. So the notes section is freeform for you to fill in whatever it is you think will be important. So things like the fibre content percentage, so if it's 95% cotton and 5% lycra, or if it's 100% linen, you might want to know whether it's knitted or woven, and if it's stretchy, you might want to know the percentage of the stretch. So the weight of the fabric, if you know that, that's something you could pop on there, or the thread colour match. If you've planned it, if you've bought it with a specific project in mind, you might want to select the planned pattern, or the pattern that you've already made with it, and the garment types that it could be suitable for, whether it's an easy to use fabric or a trickier fabric, and things like whether it's drapey and soft or whether it's a bit more rigid, and what type of needle to use if you're sewing with it, whether it requires a ballpoint needle or a microtex. All this information is useful stuff to have when you're thinking about your fabric.
African wax print cotton, and I'm gonna again pink a similar sized rectangle. So you want to be careful when you're doing this that you have enough fabric to do so. That you're not going to leave yourself short by cutting a big sample like this. If you don't have enough fabric to cut a large sample, then cut a smaller sample. Don't waste your fabric. Okay, so on here, I'm going to write African wax print cotton. It is 100% cotton. 115 centimetres wide. Price per metre, I can't remember. I purchased it from eBay. And if you buy a bundle of African wax print cotton, you will always get 6 yards. Now, I don't work in yards, so I'd want to translate that into metres for me. So washing instructions for African wax print are cool wash. And here that I have pre-washed. Purchased to make self-drafted Barcelona pattern, which is a pattern that I've been working on, and then you can put whatever other notes that are relevant on there. You might have fabrics that you can't remember where you've purchased them from, or how much they were, etc, etc. If that's the case, you just fill in the bits of information that you do know. And you build yourself your library and learn more as you go. So this still is a viscose. Staple that on there. You might want to press it beforehand. So we've got a viscose, leopard print. It was from First for Fabrics. I think there's probably 3 metres, and I've got a feeling it was £3 per metre. I think it was super cheap. So you can measure how much you've got, you can write the width, I can see it has been pre-washed at 30 degrees because that's what I do with all my fabrics. And we're just gradually working to build ourselves a really useful fabric library. So every time you buy a fabric, you can put your little notes in here and fill up your folder with all the information that you can use. Okay, so we've filled in our various different fabrics, and you can continue to do so. Every time you buy new fabric, you can add it to your little Know Your Fabrics folder. Eventually, over time, you will have a fabulous folder that you can refer to whenever you're going to buy something online, or you can't remember what you've got in your stash. You've got it all here in your little folder. So I hope you have fun playing with this and find it really useful, and a great way to get to know your fabrics and fabrics that you're buying.
Remember to like and subscribe to my channel for more great Learn to Sew videos that will help make you a better dressmaker.